Hi, I'm Callum from Time Valley Motorhomes, and today I'll be showing you the Def Left Trend Scout Globecar, which is a 2012 model. Once you arrive on site or you are charging it at your storage facility or at home, this is where you hook the van up. So you get your hook up lead, lift the collar, lift the flap on the van and slide it on until you hear a positive click, and then once you unhook, there's a small blue lever here which you'll push down and pull the hook lead out. Always hook the van up first and then the sight, as we don't want you walking around with a live lead in your hand for various reasons. Should the lead be frayed in any way and you touch it, we don't want you getting an electric shock, or should it be wet, we don't want you hurting yourself. Coming down further down the van, you've got your fresh water intake, so you've got a small key on your keys. Push it in there and you can lock the water filler caps to stop people tampering with your water. But you can put the key in, turn it, and then take the cap off. Put a hose pipe in there until it overflows, or you can see on board how much water you are carrying. If you are well camping or going off grid, you'll have to take a full tank of water with you. If you are going to a site, take a maximum of 20 litres. This gives you the opportunity to stop, use the toilet, have a cup of tea or make some food. But if you are going to a site, travel light, as this is better on the fuel economy for the engine. On your sliding door, so if I just open the van, sliding door, you've got your step switch here, so this is the electric step, and then you do have your diesel filler, so it opens with the 4 key into there, and then you can take the cap off. In the door you've got your weight, so this is your weight plate on your slam panel, so 3.5 ton. If you were to put a trailer on the back, the van and the item you are towing, i.e. caravan, car, trailer, can't exceed 5.5 tons, so that's whatever you're towing and the vehicle itself. And then you've got your front and back axle weights and your chassis numbers also on there, ending 411. Coming around the front, you open your bonnet, you put your key in, you turn to the left and then to the right, you have your engine bay. So in your engine bay you've got your, so this is where all your fuses are and relays for the engine side of the dash. You've got your positive for a jump start, so you can put your positive, your red clip for a charger or a jump lead on there, and I would earth on here on the engine hoist. You've got your radiator fluid, your brake, your screen wash, your ECUs there. Obviously you've got your fuel filter at the back, you've got your oil filler and dipstick here, power steering fluid and brake fluid. Also behind your driver's seat, behind your handbrake, you have your second conversion weight. So this is when Def Left change it from a standard Ford Transit van into a motorhome. So that's your weight plate there, which is very similar to the Ford one on the door. Also on your driver's door slam panel, you've got your tyre pressures. So you've got front, which is 50.8 psi or 3.5 bar, and rear, which is 68.9 psi or 4.75 bar, and it does give you your tyre size there as well. This is where you do your business, so your toilet's behind there, and all your business ends up in your cassette. So to empty your cassette, open the hatch, you've got a small yellow lever here, so make sure that the slide is shut inside the vehicle or this will not come out the side of the vehicle. So like it is there, the slide's closed. I've managed to get the cassette out. Go to your waste disposal point, which is normally beside or behind the toilet block. Take your cap off, press this button here, It allows a bit of air in, gives it a consistent flow. Tip it out. Once you've tipped it out, there's normally a tap there. Put some water in, give it a slosh round, tip it out again, give it a rinse out. Then if you are using a liquid, a cap full of liquid, pour it there, push it back in the van. If you are using a tablet, put a pint of water in and then push it straight back into the van. And then get your tablets, which you'll probably keep in your bathroom, drop one straight down the toilet. It'll end up in here. It's just like a dishwasher tablet, but they are designed for the chemical toilets in a cellophane, and it'll break down into the liquid. Further down you've got your fridge vents here, you've got your Truma boiler vents, or your Truma boilers underneath this bench seat at the back on the driver's side. You don't have to do anything with this, as it will just allow the fumes to come out. And then coming around to the back, you've got your bike rack. So you pull your bike rack down like so, put your wheels on the track and put these through the spokes, and then put these through your crossbars. So bike 1 being the closest bike to the back door of the van, and bike 2 being the furthest one away. Inside your rear back doors, you've got your LPG. This is a liquid petroleum gas locker. So if you open that up there, to turn on your bottle, so this, to turn on this designated bottle, you've got a little flip toggle at the top. So if you flip it over, it'll turn on, and if you push it back, it'll turn itself off. Always turn it off when traveling, and drop the bottle in just for extra security. And then this small key is for your wastewater, so your wastewater drain off. So you put it in on the bar here just below and turn like so, and it'll drain your waste. You normally drive over a grid, or as close to a grid or a gully in the ground on a site to drop your wastewater. You don't want to be travelling with your wastewater in, so if you're on a site, dump it before you leave site, as it'll improve your weight of the vehicle. Obviously you won't be using as much fuel. Underneath here you've got your spare wheels. So there's your spare wheel and your tool kits in there. So there you are there. It's got your tool kit, your wrench, change the wheel. And then above in the corner here you've got your RCD unit. So these are all your trips like at home. So should a kettle or a hairdryer trip the van out when on hookup, you can come here first and see if anything's tripped or you get a power cut. You try here first before you try your site. To operate your control panel, so you've got on off here, so you can turn your 12 volt on or off, but as soon as you do hook up you will get 230 around the van. You just have to turn this on for your leisure battery. And then here you can read the battery level, so the battery at the back of the van is your leisure battery, which is saying it's 13.5 volts. That's because we're hooked up. It will give a true reading once the hookup's taken out. And then the front one, which is your van battery, which is saying it's 12.5. And then on this side you've got your water. So top is fresh water. So there it's saying that we have 25% of fresh water on board. And below is your waste, which is saying we've got nothing because it's not lighting up, because I know we've drained the waste water off. To operate your 2 gas burner hob, turn it on at the front, but you will need a match or a spark igniter, as these don't give a spark, just to light the gas. So down here are your heating and hot water controls. So on this one you've got water on its own heating at 60%. So 60 degrees heating the water. So once the water heats to 60 degrees in the boiler, it will turn itself off until the water gets cool. It'll do that with all the water settings. So should it get to 60 degrees, it'll cut off until it drops to about 55, 50, and then it'll heat back up. Then you've got water at 40 degrees. Off in the middle, gas flame heating on its own. So should you be away and you haven't got any water on board, don't try and put heating and hot water on together, as you've got no water on board and you'll just fry the element in the boiler. So just put the heating on, and that's how you would do it, by just a gas flame that's heating on its own. And then at the bottom you've got heating and 60 degrees of water. So this is putting the heating and hot water on together. So that's your different stages here, and this is the source. So you've got one wavy line, which is 2 kilowatts of electric. So if you're on a campsite, just put on to 2 kilowatts of electric, which is 2 wavy lines, and this will heat your water, as you don't want to waste your gas, as you've paid your site fees to be on that site. Below you've got one wiggly line, which is 1 kilowatt of electric. So if you're on a smaller site abroad or a CL site in this country, you may have to turn your electric down, as they might not have a bigger amperage of electricity to be given out. Then you've got gas on its own. So should you be wild camping, not hooked up, or just at the services parked up, you'd have to just use gas to heat the van or the water. You've got gas in 1 kilowatt of electric, and you've got gas in 2 kilowatts of electric. You'll use gas in 2 kilowatts of electric if you're away in the winter or it's cold, to heat your water or heat the van far quicker. So if you're just in need of water desperately, put gas and electric on together, and in about 10-15 minutes you should have lovely hot water. Or if you're away in the winter and it's cold and you want the van heated to temperature, put on both together for about 20 minutes, and then once it does get the temperature, turn it straight up to electric if you are hooked up, and it won't waste your gas, but it'll continue to heat the van. And then you've got a 3-pin main socket here, and this is just your thermostat. Storage below in your kitchen, and the same there, and just a large storage cupboard there. And then next to us we've got the fridge. So this can work as an extra bit of worktop space, or you can put a cushion on there. So should you be lying. So to operate your domestic fridge, you've got 3 sources. So you've got off here, you've got mains electric on the hookup plug. So if you're hooked up, just turn it to mains electric, or if you're charging the van at home and you're planning on going away, put the fridge on, allow the fridge to cool on electric or either gas. Then you've got battery. So the battery will only work when the engine is running, as it will give a feed from the alternator to keep the fridge at the same temperature. So the idea here is to cool the fridge the day before you go away. So if you are going to hook the van up at home, or you've got hook up at the storage yard, put it on to hook up, allow it to cool down, go off in the car, come back and fill the fridge with your shopping, allow it to cool overnight, and then when you are ready to travel, just put it on to the battery setting. And no matter if you travel half an hour or a fair distance, your fridge should keep your shopping cool. It won't decrease, but it won't increase, but it'll just keep it nice and steady and fresh. It's just like your cool box setting. And then gas, if you did want gas, if you were wild camping, to operate your gas, you push your temperature gauge in and the igniter, and this will go into the green when it's lit. Also, next to your fridge you have your gas taps, so you can isolate each appliance there. So your heater, and so your hot water, and your boiler and your space heater here. Fridge, hob. These are mainly for when the vehicle is habitation checked. The technician will test the gas is working correctly by isolating them and doing a test on each appliance. But should there be a problem with gas, you can't isolate them here, but what I would advise, you turn it off at the bottle should you have any problems with gas, because it's far safer. On the passenger side rear bench seat, so if you lift it up, this is your fresh water tank which is on board, and if you screw the nut off the top of the fresh water, to drain your fresh water, there is a plug in here, so you'll see it there, the bung. If you pull that out, it will drain your fresh water in the winter, or should you have taken on contaminated water, or should you be storing the van for any length of time. You don't want to leave it with water on board, so it just drains it off. So the idea here is, in the winter you'd want to drain everything off, so no water on board, as if it freezed in the tank, it'll crack it, and as this tank's on board, it could flood the vehicle. So just pull the bung out and drain all your water off, which it'll drain directly underneath the chassis. Underneath your driver's rear bench seat, this is where your Truma boiler lives. And down here, this tap is very important. It is your frost control tap, which is your winter drain. So when the temperature reaches 3 degrees, this will automatically drop the 10 litres of water in the boiler. But you should still check it yourselves. And if you are winterizing the van, so should you not be using it over the winter time, you don't want the 10 litres of water to freeze in the boiler, as it could ruin your boiler, break it, and it's very expensive to repair, and it's not covered by warranty, as it's your responsibility to winterize your own vehicle. So to winterize, you have to have the tap in this position like so. So you see the little blue button at the bottom, that's out, so that means the water would drain directly underneath the chassis. But to hold water, so when you are wanting to use it, what you need to do is you need to turn the top of the, turn it so it's from vertical to horizontal, and then you just push the button in like so, and you'll see now that the button is now in and it's across the vehicle, which means that you can then fill the vehicle with water, come in, go to the cold side of the tap first, it'll come through. If you go to the hot side, it'll cough, it'll split, it'll make all sorts of noises, and what that's doing is it's drawing from your main freshwater tank into your boiler, and it will top your boiler up until you get a steady flow on your kitchen tap. Then you can try your hand basin and your shower, and then your boiler is primed for the season. Also next to your boiler is where your leisure battery lives. So your leisure battery is here, and you've got your main 40 amp fuse, which is your battery fuse there. So if you ever needed to get access or you wanted to change it, you can do so. To make your bed at the back, so if you just slide the lats out underneath so they're just on runners, slide them till they meet in the middle, and then you can use your backrests into the middle, and there you have your double bed at the back. To operate your skylights, so if you just push the button in and you can pull it along, or you can put it in the grooves should you want a light breeze, but make sure when you do travel all windows and skylights are securely locked. And then you've got a fly screen and a blackout blind for on an evening. In your cab, so to the right of the driver, you've got all your light controls and headlight adjustments, mirror controls, windows, passenger and driver. That'll lock your doors. With it being a van conversion, all doors will lock if you just push that in on a night. Handbrake, cruise control, on and off, set, preset, and you can change it there to the desired speed. All your radio controls, so you've got volume, you've got mode, so you can scroll through from AM, FM, aux or CD. Your indicators, and you've got your park lights, but you've also got your trip computer, which goes through the middle screen there. It'll tell you your miles per gallon, your range, your instant consumption, your average consumption, your travelling times, your distance travelled. ESP off, so this is traction, turn your traction control off, your hazards, and your windscreen, and mirrors, so it's heated mirrors. Temperature, distribution, fan speed, 12 volt. Your radio here, so you can press 1 to 6 to save your channels, scroll through your radio channels or tracks, volume, auxiliary, CD. If you lift here up, you've got your 12 volts, so should you want a sat nav, put it in there and feed the wire out. Cup holders, which fold down. And then underneath this one, you do have an auxiliary input, so should you want your phone, you can connect it through an aux 3.5mm jack. Storage, you've got your 6-speed manual gearbox, so once you're in above 50 mile an hour, put into 6th, lowers the revs, and it'll mean you're better on fuel. But to put in reverse, lift the collar, push it up, and you have your glove box there. and your visors. Also underneath your passenger seat in the cab you have your mega block, which has got all your blade fuses in for the 12 volt side. So it would be a good idea to go and buy some spare blade fuses, as if one of these does blow you can put a new one in and fix the problem. In your bathroom to operate your toilet, so you've got a blue button on the back which will pull the flush through like so, so it's flushed now. And then you've got your slide, so if you slide, which is down here, if you pull it to the right it'll open the trap door and deposit your waste into the cassette. If this is open you'll not be able to get the cassette out the exterior of the vehicle, it's got to be closed to get the cassette out. You've also got your toilet roll holder, some storage for your toiletries, your hand basin, but it also acts as your shower, so you can pull this out and hook it up or hold it and have a shower should you have a shower in the van. But when winterizing, leave all the mixer taps open in the middle position. What I'd do as well is I'd pull this hose out and lie it in your shower tray and take the shower trigger gun off, so it allows all the water to drain out and no water will freeze in there. You've got your window which you just open and tighten the black knobs to keep it out, but make sure they are shut when travelling.